where overtaking is difficult. But we talked about overtaking. Well, we've got a little bit side by side right now. This is Andrew Brown versus Maximilian Schneider, and the 777 breach post car there of Schneider running himself in the 9th position for the time being. There you can see on the exit of turn number 3 into 4. And let's go on board then with the driver of Schneider. He's going to go to the outside there, and he's not quite going to be able to make it work. The 777 machine of Maximilian Schneider has worked himself in that 777 car up the hill. And well, he's scrapping it out. This is the best battle that we have on track right now. And well, you can see the gap is pretty much nothing. 0.4 of a second, which is about a car length. We'll go back on board then with Schneider. Oh, we've got a car off. We've got a car off. Maximilian Schneider right on the rear of Andrew Brown. This is down into the corkscrew. This is as close as Schneider's been as he works himself out the corner, down into turn number 10. Still not close enough. And I tell you what, there is a gaggle of cars enveloping around these guys as well as Schneider almost running into the rear of Brown, and now the back end loose for Schneider. This could give the opportunity to Daniel Burrison to try and close up. So dominant. Schneider, by the way, back onto the rear of Brown. It seems to be sector number 1, Brown's a little bit better. Sector number 2, Schneider's better. Sector 3, they are exactly the same. As a little bit of a back end kick out for Brown through the corkscrew. That's going to upset his car down into 9, but Schneider, the dirty air, nothing he can do there at all, and Schneider's forced to sit in line and wait once again. But I think that Brown is just starting to get a little bit rattled in the Aquapure car. Exit of turn number 11, off to start another lap they will go. And again, you'll notice that Schneider just doesn't seem to have the straight end speed. And just having a look there with the toe, Schneider is only able to go a kilometer an hour faster, despite having that toe. And of course, this car does not have push to pass compared to the Dallara DW12 available. So these guys are running it essentially only with what they have with that right foot. In-car tools, well, they can mess about with some things. They've got the anti-roll bars, both front and rear, which they can utilise. Of course, on an oval, they'd have the weight jacket. You wouldn't really want to use a weight jacket at this racetrack, but hey, there are some crazy people doing crazy things at times. Oh, back end kick out! Schneider running into the rear there of Brown on the run down into the corkscrew, riding on board with Schneider at the time, and it just seemed to be the back end kicked out for Brown. How much damage is there to Schneider's car? Schneider looking as though he may have actually just cut the course. No, Brown is going to let Schneider go past. Brown may have some rear wing damage. He's falling back. We'll get ourselves a replay of this in a moment, but Brown is going to have to bring his car on towards pit road. No, he stays out, and he's going to get passed there by Daniel Burrison on the exit of the final corner, too wide as they come down past start finish line. Well, it's all kicked off now in your mid-pack. Let's get ourselves another look at this entire incident with Andrew Brown. And by the way, Burrison, it did complete the pass in the end. So we're going to use our aerial coverage. Our aerial coverage today is brought to you by the iRacing Forum app for Android. Let's have a look then. And this is, we're going to slow it down again as he works himself down into the kink right about here. So we'll just slow it down, and you'll notice, we'll focus it in, he just clips there, the sausage curb, and that's just going to upset the balance of that car. He's going to get it into a slide, and at this point, there's only one real line. You can see that Schneider's going to try and move to the left-hand side. He can't in time, can't slow the car down in time, and at that point, Andrew Brown, looking as though he may have had a bit of damage to that race car. We're going to speed the tape up, go on board with him. A little bit of rear wing damage. And then, he cuts the course, and that's why he had to slow down. He overshot the braking zone down into the corkscrew. So that is why Andrew Brown ended up having to lose, yield some time. He had the inside line into the final corner. He was trying to work himself past the number 71 car. 71 machine there, Burrison doing the under-over on him. And then these two actually pretty much stayed side by side on the run down in towards turn 1. They were separated by nothing. Diach versus Club UK and Ireland. Brown looking to the outside, trying to make himself the pass there, going around the long way in towards turn 1, but was unable to do so. And they almost made contact themselves, but very hard, clean racing. And look at this! Oh, they did make contact in the end, and Brown forced his way back past, and that is why Brown is in a net 7th place on track. It's close between these guys right now, and I tell you what, they're being clean and respectful for the most part. Trying to hunt down Andreas Warner. Still got Burrison scrapping it out with Andrew Brown. That gap is now half a second on track, but we know that Brown can play effective defense. We've seen it in the first half of this race, where he has been incredible in just defending that car, making that car as wide as possible. Although that gap is already now down to a quarter of a second at certain points. We know that Berenson is good in sector number 1. We know that Brown is good in sector number 2. And you just see there, from the rear of Andrew Brown's car, as they come down in towards 10 once again. As well, this well could be a scrap that will go on for the next 52 minutes and 44 seconds. Down past the start finish line they will come. They've done 43 laps so far, these guys, in this event now. So that means they're looking to do about 100 laps-ish in total when all is said and done. But a couple of other battles going on track right now, like this one. This is Andrew Brown versus Ryan Joseph Sturm. Gap is 0.5 of a second. We're having a look from the rear of Andrew Brown. You've also got a lap down car, that is Tim Miller at the back of your shot there as well. But Andrew Brown's always been playing defense here today. He's been very strong at it in P number 8 as it stands. But you can see he's had 2 places gained since the start of this race. His best lap time of the day, a 1:11.220. He was a second and a half slower than that almost, though, the last time past the start finish line, as they've done 59 laps now around this racetrack. Done that last time by in the dirty air, actually a little bit slower compared to Andrew Brown. He did himself a 1:12.6. That dirty air and the marbles really starting to hurt some of these drivers now, and they will be playing around with things like their anti-roll bars in the cars to try and get the balance of these cars better sorted. And there you can see the track conditions. It is windy here today. It's also pretty cool, California style. It's very cool out there, to be fair. We've got clear skies, 58% humidity, but it's the wind that is the big factor. The wind really making things difficult for these drivers here today.